One of our customers recently came to us genuinely worried about their business because they were spending the same amount on online ads every month, but getting fewer and fewer clicks and fewer leads. And on the face of it, it might look like something is wrong. Is our conversion tracking working? Is our product or service competitive? Do we have the right keyword strategy? But the truth is, like everyone's spending money online, we're actually fighting a losing battle against digital inflation. And in this video, I want to go through the 3 reasons why costs are going up and the 2 things that you can do if you want to protect and grow your return on ad spend. Okay, so if you're spending money online advertising, you're going to be doing it typically through a cost per click model. Now, the first reason why the cost per clicks are going up is due to competition. So last year in Australia, there was $18 billion spent on internet advertising. Now, $18 billion might sound like a big number, but if you take 18 billion divided by the 3 million businesses in Australia, put those 2 numbers together, it works out about $6,000 per business spending money on online ads, which is about $500 a month. So that sort of checks out. But the underlying economy is only growing at 1, 2, or 3%. So how is this growing at 11? Well, internet advertising or online advertising is taking share from offline advertising. And at the moment, online advertising captures about 70% of Australia's total ad spend, whereas offline is about 30%. Back when I started my career, that was actually reversed. And why this is important is we've got more and more dollars coming from offline channels going to online channels and online ad spend. So the supply of dollars chasing clicks is going up, whereas the underlying demand of this clicks is probably growing at low single digits. So the key takeaway here is more money is coming online. So those auctions are getting more and more crowded. The second reason why the costs are going up is from the actual companies that run these platforms, because you're probably going to be spending money on Google and Meta. Meta owns Facebook. Now, these are massive companies, and their ads business for each of them is still growing at really strong rates. If you look at Google, their ad spend is growing Google's advertising revenue is growing at about 20%, 19%. If you look at Meta, similar story, still growing at about 20%, even at $196 billion of revenue. Now, why that's important is as these companies grow, they need to keep growing their revenue at high rates. And even just moving the cost per click a few cents would add millions of dollars to the profitability of these companies and ultimately their shareholders. So that's going to keep going up as these companies get more dominant and keep flexing their pricing power. Okay, the third reason why the costs per click are going up is AI bidding algorithms. Now, if you don't know what these are, AI bidding basically helps you get better quality clicks for people that are active in the market. So instead of paying, let's say, $5 for a click for someone who's half interested, you pay $10 per click for someone who's more keen in your product or service. And what this means is everybody has access to this information and knows where the best keywords are. So those keywords are going to get bid up. Now, the end result from these 3 things is inflation in the cost per click. So you can spend exactly the same amount that you did last year or last month this year, and you're going to get fewer clicks and fewer leads. Now, the first reaction to that is, well, if we can't compete on those expensive keywords, why don't we just go buy cheaper clicks? But you already know what happens when you go that way. You end up with noise in the funnel. You end up with lower quality leads who are just going to come and kick the tires on your business. So what we can do about it is actually 2 things, which focus on what we can control in this equation. Now, the big 2 levers, or the first of the big 2 levers, is actually improving our landing pages, because we control what happens after that click from these platforms. And if we can improve our landing pages and improve the number or the percentage of people that turn from a click to a conversation, that's a huge lever for us. And let's say that the cost per click is going up 20%, but we're able to improve our landing pages by 20%, the end result is the same. Now, you can improve your landing pages by adding more social proof. You could be reducing the number of clicks that people need to take. You could be going deeper as far as adding e-commerce functionality or scheduling functionality. All of this adds up and just turning more clicks into conversations in your business. Now, the second lever we have to pull on to fight this cost per click inflation is actually our relationship with the customer. Now, I've done another video on this, but the most important equation in any business is the customer lifetime value divided by the cost to acquire that customer. Now, customer value is what's the total margin that a business earns over the lifetime of that customer. So if you have a customer for 10 years and the gross margin is $500 per year for 10 years, the customer value or the customer lifetime value is $5,000. Now, let's walk through this. And let's say that with that $5,000 of a customer value, we're able to turn 1 in 10 conversations into a customer. So if you back that out, that means we're willing to pay $500 per conversation. So 1 in 10 conversations closes, 1 in 10, we get that $5,000. And a step further, let's say that 1 in 10 clicks turns into a conversation. So for every 10 clicks we get from these platforms, we go to a landing page, actually turns into a conversation. Okay, that means we can pay $50 per click. And it can make more sense if you flip it upside down and run it backwards. So let's say we pay $50 per click. We need to buy 10 clicks to have one conversation. And then we need to have 10 conversations to have one customer. That's how the math works out. Now, the key thing is if you can increase your customer value from $5,000 to $6,000 and keep these other things the same, well, that means now you can pay $60 per click. So you can go to these platforms, actually start outbidding your competitors because you actually have a higher customer value. Now, how do you actually do this is the question. Well, there's many ways you can do this in increasing customer value. It could be having that relationship for a longer time. It could be improving your margins. It could be upselling. It could be getting better referrals. All of it just adds up into providing more value for that customer and your ability to share in that value. So those are the two key things you can do. Improve your landing pages and expand or grow your relationship with that customer. And the key takeaway here to wrap is that you'll never beat rising ad costs by constantly trying to find cheaper clicks. It's not going away. The best way is to continue to win by improving your landing pages and adding more value to your customers. Okay, that's it for today. Hope that helps.